The Minnesota Vikings had their chances in Dublin, but the luck of the Irish was not with them, and it's honestly their own fault. Minnesota Vikings lost their first ever international game, dropping to 4-1 in the regular season and 8-1 overall when they lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday morning by a score of 24-21. They were down 24-6 and they rallied to get back in the game, but it was a bevy of mistakes that both got them in that position and also kept them from being able to get a tie game or win it outright. And it all starts and ends with Carson Wentz, the Vikings backup quarterback, who some were saying, hey, maybe this guy should be the starter for the rest of the year. Well, their lunch was taken from them today as Wentz performed very poorly across the board. Let's start with a couple of things. One, he threw 2 interceptions and nearly threw a third that was only ruled not an interception because he barely bobbled the football at the end of the game. He was making poor decisions across the board. And not only was he making poor decisions, those poor decisions were impacting the Vikings in a massively negative way. You can start with the 2 interceptions and the failed third one, but it was the pocket management. A lot of people are going to talk about the fact that the Vikings had 3 backup offensive linemen in. That wasn't why they struggled. It was because of Wentz's poor management of the pocket. You know you have multiple backup offensive linemen. You know that Christian Darrisaw likes to push edge rushers around the corner. So don't run to where the edge rusher can just run you down easily, step up into the void. He wasn't doing any of those things. He was not going through the progressions nearly well enough. He did make some plays, which you expect from a guy of Carson Wentz's caliber, but it was the plays he didn't make and the plays he struggled with that ended up cratering this team. The running game could have been a little stronger. The defense could have tackled a little better. But Wentz is a veteran quarterback, one who many decided should be the starting quarterback after 1 week of average play. We're asking Carson Wentz to quarterback this team, to be the starter. If you're going to be the starter, you got to be the starter. You can't just lollygag around. You can't make these kinds of mistakes. These are mistakes you expect McCarthy to make because he's a first-year starter, only 2 starts under his belt. You can't be making these if you're Wentz. You have to be better than that. You have to rise above. You have to have much, much better pocket management. None of that was there on Sunday. How much of that can be determined to where, hey, the Steelers defense was good, which it was. We're in Dublin, Ireland, in a different place. That shouldn't be a problem. You're a professional quarterback. Wentz proved that he's not the guy. It's very patently obvious now. All the discussion about him being the starter long-term, that can go away. Because one thing is clear. He hasn't been that guy for a long time. And you're going to have more games like this the more he starts. The Vikings need to get McCarthy back, and they need to get healthy. The bye week coming up after next Sunday's game is going to be huge for them. And once they get McCarthy back, hopefully things turn around. I'm Tyler Forness with A to Z Sports. Skol Vikings.